Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today here on Buzzman Videos. Buzzman is a great podcast initiative which unites leading and budding entrepreneurs on one platform to share their stories of growth and success. My name is Roya and we have with us today Dr. Shankar Anapandi. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you, Roya. Thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, sir, and your background.
Yeah, I'm a HR professional and I practice it for the last 20 years. I've been associated with organizations in the industries like financial services, infrastructure, and IT startups. I'm an MBA graduate from Osmania University and did my PhD over there. And my interest took me to storytelling, which I keep using it as a technique to build the workshops around.
All right, sir. So you are an author, is that correct?
I do write a bit. You can call me an author.
All right.
Book is in the process of it. The book is yet to be published, and I'm looking for a publisher. But of course, yes, I do write, and many of those things are published in magazines and journals.
All right. Was writing always something that you expected to cross paths in your career?
One is it was a mandatory requirement for my profession. It was a necessity for the role that I was playing. So otherwise, I was like any other college going guy, writing a leave letter to the principal or trying to address it to the class teacher in the school days as an assignment.
Right.
But the profession made me learn those things, and communication is an important part of HR profession, and I think that's how I had to do it.
Right. Okay. So now, so you've been in HR for over 20 years, and was this always a career path that was a choice of yours that you were always very interested in, and why? What made you choose getting into HR?
Yeah, it will be overboard if I say that this has been my passion, career, and all those things. I'll put it very simple. My hair is on the head and feet is on the ground. Okay, and that's what I strictly believe in. It was of while I was doing my MBA. It was there. We had only three specializations. One is the marketing, the other is the finance, and the third one is the human resource management. I come from a science background. I'm an electronics graduate. Okay, so I was always I have a fear of numbers, so I didn't go for finance, and I look like a fully grown up apple. So I thought having a shirt in and going out wearing a tie and meeting the people was not my cup of tea. Okay, so out of no choice, there's only one specialization left, human resource management. But of course, when I got into it, I understood this is what I am made for.
Right. Okay. So, what would you say, in your opinion, are the three top essential skills to be successful in HR?
One is the understanding of the business, because I somewhere read, I think if I'm not wrong, it is from the IBM. HR starts with the business and ends with the business. So this is what even my mentor has made me understand over the years of experience. So understanding of the business is one part. Second is understanding the profile from the perspective of the business. There are two different things. For a HR, it is about understanding the product in the business. Second is you get the talent on board. So you need to understand how does that profile actually contribute to the business or the bottom line of the balance sheet. So that's another perspective you have to understand. Third is you always have to keep in mind that you are not managing people. You are actually trying to address the aspirations of the people, which are never visible. You are actually dealing with invisible things in a visible form of a human being. These are the three aspects that I would say are important for being a successful HR professional.
All right. Now, would you say, arranging recreational activities for employees, on a monthly basis every few months, would you say that's a positive aspect or a negative aspect on, boosting employee morale?
See, we are actually running a business, right? End of the day, it's an investment of time, investment of money, and investment of services. Okay, so there should be fun at the workplace, but the workplace shouldn't become a fun.
What would you say is the essential need for artificial intelligence in HR recruitment?
It is now inseparable. The times have gone to such an extent. It is no more a choice for me. It is no more a choice for me because when we open a mobile or even an app or a bank app, we now have chatbots, right? We throw a question and they come up with an answer, and sometimes we find immediate solutions of whom to approach and which door to knock. Okay, and lots of companies have experimented this in terms of kiosk management recruitments at the cave coffee day centers and other things, wherein you get this energetic, bubbly young generation who is aspiring to make their careers. Okay, a couple of questions you key in, they give they key in their answers, and that becomes their first round of selection, and then HR gets into it, calling them, asking them to meet. I would say it is an inseparable part, artificial intelligence, but we should always understand and read between the lines of artificial intelligence. It is still artificial and it is about intelligence.
Now, one of the most important things we have to speak about, sir, this year is now obviously being in a pandemic, COVID-19. How has it affected the workforce? How has it affected you personally and your working experience? Right.
This pandemic is mother of all those recessions. And initially it was a panic movement, but like everyone else, because we are facing something which we have never witnessed. It is happening for the first time in the life. We don't know what is right and what is wrong. And we don't even know which step has to be taken. Panic, and after that, a couple of days down the line or a couple of weeks down the line, it settled as a fear. Okay, the panic, rather you should see it as a journey of becoming a new normal. The first stage is panic. After a couple of weeks, it settled as a fear, and then we got into the terms of it. Third stage is we are okay with that, living with that fear, than the panic kind of a thing, because the body, the mind, your soul actually gets used to it, and finally we accept that this is a new normal.
So, do you think it's been a little bit of a difficult transition trying to, ensure employees are completing their work tasks because you're not there and interacting with them, on a one-on-one basis? Has it been difficult to manage, or has it been a smooth transition?
These initial hiccups were there, and for about a month or two, I think 45 days to 60 days, it was a real challenge for us because people had to come to terms and realize that this is how life is going to be forthwith. It is about coming to terms with the reality. Okay? Coming to terms with the reality. That took time, but the moment people were able to realize that, we had, of course, the emulators who always come onto the roads first and say that, hey guys, I am trying to come back, and there will be followers. So we had around 30 to 40% of our workforce who are ready, because ultimately the journey is all about getting something into your stomach and making your fortunes. Okay, so that instinct of human being will always say, hey, you're not made to sit back. A couple of months is fine, but the instinct of human being is about survival, fighting, and moving forward.
Right, of course. Now, how would you say, has there been a big difference in, your hiring processes pre and post pandemic?
Yes, predominantly we are a sales-based organization, because I build homes and I need someone to sell those. Okay, and I need those people to collect the money from the customers and reinvest it in land, and once again build homes and sell it. This is a cycle. This is a cycle that my present organization or employer is into. Before pandemic, there are lots of organizations who were doing the construction, and the employment opportunities were quite wide open. But the industry has hit so bad that most of the people were asked to move on a long leave without pay. Okay? I'm keeping it quite professionally. So asking people to go proceed on a long leave without pay. But once the unlockdown 2 version 2 has happened, there are people who started looking at opportunities, and especially let me put across to you. I've seen people in the age group of 38 to 45 who are actually managers and senior managers managing their team members in organizations have really come to terms, and they are now open to work as an individual contributors. They want they are okay for their feet to be on the street, which was not the case earlier. Okay. And the second challenge which I was facing is the inherent fear of meeting the clients or channel partners for pitching the product. Okay. They don't know from which side Corona would become their partner. Okay. So everywhere they are very so conscious that somewhere down the line, the natural energy which should be there in that particular individual is taken away by this fear which is looming around. That is the second thing which we could not. The spirit of joy of working is lost in the people whom we are hiring. The third is the third thing is there is, let me put across transparently, there is a bit of I would say exploitation which is happening in terms of negotiations at the compensation levels. There are very few organizations who have put their minds quite open in offering them and treating them the same way. But exploitation has been happening in terms of asking the people to come at reduced salaries, because these are the times wherein opportunity itself is a big thing. So don't think too much about what you are earning, kind of a thing. Right. So these are the few things which I observed are the challenges that we are facing in terms of the recruitment post-pandemic and prior to that.
All right. So now I'd just like to mention a few of your achievements. So you have been awarded Asia's 100 Most Influential HR of 2015, also Most Important HR Influencer of 2016, and HR Influencer Manager of the Year of 2017. So, this goes to show us what a positive and great impact you've had in the business. So what would you say is your insight and your word of advice for any budding entrepreneur who is trying to be successful?
I would put it like this. It is like getting married. And of course, when it's a long marriage, it is fine. Your passion goes together, and probably you have a commitment to live along. But of course, if you don't have that clarity, and probably if you're looking and jumping around to look at something that gives you a life, I think you need to give it a time. Entrepreneurship, for that matter, is not an easy thing. We keep speaking on podiums and platforms saying that it is good to be on our own, right? It is always people are fond about saying that I'm on my own. Okay, but at the same time, look at there's a different psychology of those people. The mindset of those people is very different when compared to a normal employee who's happy of getting a lakh or lakh and a half on the 31st day. It is their resilience to such hardships and walking against the breeze. People say that it is about swimming against the tides, but I would put it across like walking against the strong breeze, which will take your strength, which will hit you hard on the face, and lots of dust happens on you. You have to clean it off and don't deter on the focus. Don't deter on the focus and give it a time. Like any relationship, entrepreneur beginning is also a relationship that you are making in your life. Give it a time, no less than 2 to 3 years. Never give up, because it was always said, it takes time for something to sink, if you seed something into the soil, it takes its time. You need to water it, right? At the same time, you have to manure it, and probably then you can see the sapling happening, and then slowly it takes its own time to come across the flowers. We can't expect a butterfly overnight from the caterpillar, right?
All right. So, well, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you to all our viewers for joining our podcast here today at Buzzman Videos. Stay tuned for more inspirational stories from entrepreneurs from across the country. Once again, my name is Roya, signing off from Buzzman Videos. Stay safe.